Nathan, do you know what the biggest problem with Riftbound is, bro?
Oh, don't get me started. I think the worst thing right now is the price of packs, the meta's being resolved. What's it called? It's too expensive to build anything, bro. Like, it's just, there's so many issues with the finances, bro.
Okay, fair, you got some good points, but no, the biggest problem right now with Riftbound is people aren't brewing enough.
In this video, we're going to be talking about cards that we think should be brewed around the meta to spice things up.
So what me and Nathan did is we came up with 5 cards each, or sometimes groups of cards, and then we discussed them and tried to give you, the viewer, some ideas of where to start when you brew your next deck.
But before this video starts, please like and subscribe so we can afford to buy even more cardboard and play more Riftbound.
Yeah! Hey, Sammy from the future here. Just quick warning about this video. We may or may not have made a few mistakes while doing this recording. It was our first time recording over Discord, and something, the first pancake is always the worst, yada yada. Problems include me getting recorded way louder than I should have been, I was clipping a bunch, and also while we were trying to get the screen recording off Discord, it just didn't work. So we're gonna have a workaround, which is animation and our still frames. Yay, that's cool. It's like from me, from my videos. But yeah, don't worry, the video quality is still good. I still think it's a great video. But yeah, don't worry, in the future all these problems will be resolved. Thank you for watching.
Alright, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I don't mind you going first. Yeah, you go first.
So I was like 100% sure if we were going to do just Spirit Forge, but I thought it'd be good to start off with a Spirit Forge. It's something that I've had on my mind, big brain mind, for a long time. It's Kato the Arm. Just to go over what he is. But he's 4 energy for 1 power, orange power, 3 might. He has deflect, and when I move to a battlefield, give a friendly unit my keywords and plus might equal to my might this turn. Nobody this card got reworked, so now it can't give itself the buff or the keywords. It can only give friendly units, right? So I thought this one is a pretty interesting one because of the fact that I don't think we've seen a unit give this insane amount of like stats or effects to another unit. Like, I don't think there's anything really comparable to it.
I just realized this card pairs super well with one of the cards I'm going to talk about.
Oh, I know. But I feel like Kato has a couple like niche applications. For one, like, it makes Punch First a really good card in the meta right now, a really interesting one to make it more of an aggressive card. I know right now Punch First uses like more of a reactive tool, but I think Kato gives like an interesting line where you could give him Punch First stats and then move him, like conquer one battlefield, then give the Punch First stats to another unit. And so now you got like, do you see what I mean? Like, it amplifies like so many the pump effects, like Punch First, and well, I think Red is the big one, right?
Yeah, Red has a bunch of really low-cost, high-power stuff like Bloodthirst, Cleave, against the odds as well.
Yeah, so it could be interesting if like what's it called? Maybe Illusion, for example, like the ability to just give like a pump spell double the value because you give it to both Kato and then something else on top. Another thing, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong with the rules here, but I believe if you give him an equipment with like a keyword, you then also give that keyword to something else with his own effect, right?
Oh yeah, that works really well with Lucian as well then.
Yeah, so like you could do a thing where like you give like the equipment, like the Serrated Dirk, a classic one that gives assault. You could like swing with Kato, give him the plus with assault, then you give the stats and assault to another unit. Oh my god, you could just like you could just like amp the stats on something like tenfold. Yeah.
One thing I realized about this card, it works really well with kind of go low orange strategies, which aren't really like a thing. There isn't a lot of low to the ground, go wide orange strategies. They kind of all just like get one unit, try to make it big with equipment, or like just really high impact units that you can keep playing. But this kind of rewards you for being a more like low to the ground, kind of like a pit rookie strategy with like some 2-drops that you could just like send forward. Maybe this is good with Fiora as well, because Fiora cares about equipment, cares about small units like the unsung hero, and then just like cares about stuff getting big, which Kaido does all those things kind of well.
Yeah, he does it really well, especially with another thing as well. I think a big factor we're forgetting is that he's also got deflect, like naturally.
Oh yeah.
Units with deflect naturally are really good. Now he is a low stat line, I will admit, like he's a low stat line and he doesn't have accelerate, so he's pretty slow in the late game. But I think if you could just jam him early, he's just going to give you so much value, right?
Yeah, and I mean, immediately to the top of my head, this is screaming kind of like Kiana downsides. Well, first of all, the 4 and a power cost kind of just like doesn't kill the card, but it makes you work a lot harder than a lot of the premier 4-drops are working. Like this isn't no Draven or Kai'Sa that just get to like 4 energy, no downside, just
gonna
swing.
play for free, basically.
Yeah, but it does. I do think it kind of needs as well some like equipments and stuff to fix that problem with the stat line. I mean, this is kind of looking like a 3 might. Do you know what would work really well with this? A Bone Shiver or a BF sword.
Yeah.
Something to like make it stay relevant.
I think it's.
Oh, plus it just works with making it bigger to pump other units.
I completely like missed the idea of putting this in Fiora. This has to be a good Fiora card.
Plus, you don't even care about the de-ramping of the power cost because your Fiora, who cares? You just like bring it back with your legend ability. He's basically just like every time he moves, every turn, you're just getting your mighty trigger off Fiora, basically.
He is just.
That's cool.
He is +3. He is just +3.
+3.
Yeah.
Only problem I see as well is that currently in the meta, we're not really in a break a battlefield and like big hold strategy meta right now. It's kind of just everyone's like moving back and forth, conquering only when they have to type shit. So making something massive to then swing in doesn't seem that relevant unless you're like playing in the final turns against like a miracle deck that has like 1,000,000 units in a battlefield and you just need a lot of power. Because then the punch fist and then moving him and then another unit at the same time getting a double punch fist, basically that seems really relevant.
That's like basically like win the game scenario.
Yeah, okay, sick card. My card then? So my card isn't exactly not played, not by a long shot. This card is seeing a lot of plays in especially one top tier deck, which is Aurelia, and the card is Stellarcorn Herder. Now I know this card is basically meta, but here's the thing. I believe this card is super underexplored just because I think it's the hardest snowballing card in the whole game. Listen, you just move him like 3 times, you're up 3 cards. If your opponent doesn't kill this instantly, and I know how it feels when I play against it, if you don't kill this thing instantly, you feel like you've already lost the game. Yeah. Being able to draw 1 card on any move, to me, is like broken.
It is nuts. It's nuts. I was gonna say, like, I think it's quite nuts, especially with the fact that, like, it only needs to move twice. Like you said, it only has to move twice to do its thing. To make it worth it.
So, addressing its big problems, why it doesn't see more play in other decks other than just Aurelia. It's like underpowered for the cost, so 4 cost and then it has like 3 power or something like that, which doesn't feel too good, especially if it doesn't have accelerate or anything like that. Also, it's kind of just a removal magnet. Anytime your opponent is going to like see it, they want to kill it. But I think that's kind of the upside. Using this as kind of like a psychological tool to bait your opponent into throwing everything they can at it while you can hold up protection because you're on green, like counter spells, pump spells, etc. I feel like that's really working towards a strength and a thing I don't see a lot of people do. So obviously the card advantage is insane, but if you're, for example, you like play it, pass the turn, then on your turn you move it into a battlefield, your opponent is going to do everything they can to either stop that moving into the battlefield or like try to throw something at it so that it dies. So this means that if you have a hand with protection and a hand that can like stop basically their investment of resources into stopping it, you're up not only the card that you got from moving, but also the massive like card advantage and tempo advantage from stopping your opponent trying to interact with you. And I think that can be really strong.
Yeah, because you could treat it as like magnet removal for your actual strategy.
Exactly.
Because I feel like that's what Aurelia is doing right now, right? Like Aurelia's just trying to treat this as like, this is ample card advantage. You either deal with it and then you don't kill Aurelia, or you don't deal with it and like, you just get insane amount of value, right?
Exactly. But the problem is, outside of purple, so outside of Aurelia or Yasuo, it's hard to abuse the move ability, right?
That's what I was just saying, like how, like purple is probably the best movement abuser in the game, right?
Exactly.
So how do you go outside of that?
So obviously you can try to do the combat trick thing and just like toughing it out and just like trying to make this thing survive as long as possible, which is going to be a positive investment for you because you're just drawing cards as you move it around. Or there are other cards that combo with this outside of purple. There's Emperor's Divide, the new green flash. It's pretty good. If you want to get really techie with it, you got Bard, you know, because you can play him, ready him, and like move other units with him. In orange strategies, there's First Mate and Wallop to automatically ready a unit for like relatively low investment, which I think is pretty sick. And really cute is Zenith Blade and Leona, but I mean, Leona needs the help. I think this could kind of help Leona. I don't know.
I think most green decks should just consider it anyway, because a 4-drop unit that just draws a card on movement, you don't even need to conquer. It's something that like it's just strong, right? You've seen it work really well. And I think like I was gonna ask you like what you think the best abuse color, but I think First Mate like makes me lean towards orange. Because like the idea
orange, because yeah,
orange just has a lot of good like pump effects for it, as well as just move it around.
I mean, we saw in Bologna there was this Yi player who was like maxing out on these plus like Sonas and like other stuff to just keep the constant power combat tricks and stuff happening. This card just fuels you up. You can play greedy cards like Sona because you're just going to always have stuff to play with your ready rooms and stuff like that. I don't know, this card seems like it snowballs insanely, and if you can put yourself in a position where you can play this and protect it, your opponent is just like, what are they going to do? Run out of cards, basically.
Yeah, it's just like, do you have removal? No, well, checkmate.
Plus, I feel like it's so strong. If you're like going second, on your second turn, you can play this card and then hold up a defy. It's like, okay, sick. And you can like keep up the tempo advantage like that. Obviously, this isn't a go second card. This is better as go first because you can run it out on turn 2 while your opponent still is on turn 1. But still, I think this card is cool. Yes, it kind of folds a bit against the interaction heavy decks at the top, like Kai'Sa, Ezreal to a certain extent. But yeah, still good. Cool. Next card.
All right. Now this is I'm gonna throw a curveball out, and my card isn't a card. It's basically all of Rumble's package. the entire
I did something similar.
Yeah, the entire.
I did something similar.
Now Rumble like has not seen borderline any play. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's like 0 competitive play with Rumble. I think one guy went with it like top 8 or something at some random tournament. My thing is that I think Rumble like has like a lot of like benefits for the meta. Big one for me is that like number 1, it actually gets towards the 6 stat line. Might unit of 6s is really important to beat. You need to be able to defend a 6 might unit because of Draven, Kai'Sa, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think like Draven is a really like powerful deck, and I feel like the 6 might is like his range. So any deck that can compete with 6 might is really strong. I love
the passive shield on your units just for free is kind of nuts.
Yeah, we have the shield. We have the shield on the legend. We also have the blue legend, which I think is the best one. The one that just is just a lord for all the mechs. And then like holds and makes a free might mech every turn. The red rumble gives assault, which is also really nice, especially when you can have multiple of them out in a turn. My only issue right now with it is I think people need to figure out the numbers. I think the numbers is something that people
100%.
need to work on, because I don't know what is the numbers. Like I'm at the moment I'm trying like 3 blue and 2 red, but I don't know if that's correct. I also try to figure out how many non-mechs there are, because some of the other mechs, they are good, they're just a bit too slow.
That's the thing, the mech package like got so like many cards in Spirit Forge. There's a million mechs that all give your other mechs different things. This feels like the first tribal strategy that we got in Riftbound. And it's like, a lot of them are kind of bait. You know, you don't know if you should play. Like, I think the Vision mech is kind of just bait. You don't need that many 2-drops, and you already have other better ones. That means you don't need to play the Vision mech. It's bad card selection, I think.
Yeah, because
I mean, this has so many good cards.
I'm actually the opposite. I think the Forecaster is the 2-drop mech that gives vision. I think that's a really strong mech. It itself has vision, and then all your token generation has vision too. It's just basically card selection, I think. Especially in a deck where like you can jam in a lot of card draw, but you don't have too much access to. We do have Production Surge, which I think is kind of nuts. Have you seen that card?
Yeah, Production Surge is like, 2 mana and a power, make a 3/3 draw card.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What game are we playing here? Make a 2 mana 3/3 draw card. Oh, what do I need for the requirement? Oh, just play my deck. Okay, cool.
Okay, I think the biggest problem with this strategy is honestly just the meta. Rumble wants to be a whole deck, like a blue-red whole deck, because you're trying to just like put a bunch of shit into a battlefield and just like make it stick, so that you can get your Rumble trigger and also so you can benefit off shield. But those kinds of strategies are just not very favored in the meta right now, because purple is so rampant. You know, oh, I'm holding with 3 key units. Oh no, my strongest one gets fight or flighted. I lose, kind of thing.
I think we just fall to purple. Let's be real, because like, if you're not holding, you could just attack and then you just do the same thing, right? Yeah, they lose the tempo, but then you lost your entire turn, right? Maybe you treat it as like an assault strategy, maybe, because like I'm thinking, because I remember someone was telling me that the red rumble was better, but they were saying like do a red rumble and then just be like an aggro deck, because you just treat it like I attack for 5 and then I recycle a mech and then like get another mech back for free basically, and you just like you treat it as like graveyard recursion every turn. You treat it as like a lost rights. It's just lost rights on a unit.
Yeah. Cool. Next card. Oh, cards. I'm gonna go the same thing you said. I'm just gonna put a package of cards, because I also cheated and put a package of cards. And mine actually goes really well with the Rumble package, because these are the new red hold cards. In Spirit Forge, we got a bunch of red cards that care about holding or that are very good at with holding. So there's Minotaur Reckoner, which is units can't move back to base. This card has seen some sideboard play in some Draven decks. It's really good against purple. This card basically counters purple. Then we got Perched Grimworm, which I don't have the exact text on, but it's basically a 4 mana, 5 or 6 power that can only be played to a battlefield you conquered. So basically, on your second turn, you're playing this onto a battlefield with the intent of holding it with massive amounts of power.
Oh yeah.
Then there's
is nuts, right? 5 months is just like
exactly.
How you being that turn 2?
On for 4 mana, yeah, exactly. Then there's Dunebreaker, which is the new epic in red. It's basically a big old insect-looking creature. It's like 7 power, no, not 7 power, 7 energy, and has like 8 power or some shit like that. And then it says, when I hold, draw 2. Which is kind of crazy. And the final card in this package is Sudden Storm, which is 3 energy, and then deal 2 damage to a unit. If that unit is attacking, deal 4 instead, and you can hide it.
You know what's so funny is that my next card was Minotaur Reckoner specifically. So we can just like mash up.
Alright, let's just
Cool.
Let's just talk about it here.
I'm interested in why you thought like the hold red, because hold red is holding outside of purple
Exactly.
unheard of right now, right?
Exactly. So there's 2 things you can do here. There's trying to be a dedicated hold strategy where you just like try to stack up on battlefields, make it as unbreakable as possible. I think a strategy that really benefits from this is Volley Bear, because you're caring about playing big units. The worm is triggering your volley, ramping you out, basically sounds good, and you just care about making a massive unit battlefield. Or the other direction you could take it is kind of like a tempo-y hold kind of strategy. Either way, I think that like this package of cards is attacking the meta in a very interesting position, specifically because of the Minotaur. Because it is just so good against purple, everything that purple's trying to do.
Minotaur is really good. Minotaur is...
Except for View, but we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about it. Yeah, because you can't fight, because they can't fight. Units can't be fireflied, and you can't flash your units back, which are the main movements.
And they can't be Reaver's Road, and they can't be Overzealous Fanned.
You can't.
Fanned.
Yeah, you also can't ride the wind, right? You can't ride the wind in response. It's basically...
Oh, ride the wind to base. You can ride the wind to battlefields.
Oh, true. Yeah, Minotaur Reckoner, I think, like, it's the fact that, like, it reminds me of, like, what Draven's doing right now, in the sense that your opponents can't do something. Like, you can't, like, Minotaur Reckoner literally says you can't, like, return or retreat, or anything like that, and you can't interact. And like Draven says that you can't retreat because you just give them a card. You technically can, but who wants to give your opponent a card?
For free.
Exactly. But you know, I think I like the Sudden Storm. Sudden Storm's a really cool, like, interesting one.
Sudden Storm is the first like really good go second card. Because your opponent plays that 2-drop. On your turn you have 3 runes. You just hold up Sudden Storm. They try to move into a battlefield, you kill it. No questions asked. And if they want to protect it, they're investing a lot just to protect the 2-drop.
Perched Grimworm, I'm surprised. Like, it actually sounds nuts. I mean, there's a little bit...
Exactly.
It actually sounds nuts. You have to, like... I think you just have to jam more 2-drops, right? You just have to jam so many drops. So because you can guarantee it. You guarantee it in your open.
That's the problem with the volley strategy. Because it fits so well and so badly in volley. Well, because it's a like turn 2 play that you can activate your legend ability. But also means, I have to play 2-drops. That's the opposite of what thing wants. I mean, there's only one good 2-drop I can think of in volley, which is the 2-drop that gives stuff ganking, the mech dude.
Oh,
that's the only one I could theoretically see. Yeah, that's the only one I could see maybe being good in volley. But obviously, you could just play role players. Like the monkey, you can pay a power on turn 2 to like make him bigger.
Volley is a deck that has famously not done well, right? It's just not.
Oh yeah, my first ever 03 Nexus Knights was volley.
But like we could treat like if we like kind of not like ignore kind of ignore on volley's effect a little bit, like ignore like paying the cost or like having every unit be mighty. This could work. Like, yeah, maybe instead of treating it as like a, what's it called? Instead of treating like I need to trigger volley off every turn into I trigger volley every other turn.
Every few turns. Yeah. It's just more staying on tempo and not falling behind on tempo off your spells.
My 4th slot is a card that I think a lot of people try to experiment with set 1, and I think has a really strong application in set 2, and that's Echo.
Yeah.
So to remind everyone what this is, it's a 5 energy, 1 blue power card, a unit with 5 might. It has Accelerate for 1 and a blue, and it has Death Kneel, Recycle Me to ready your runes. Now, in set 1, there wasn't like a lot of like ways to abuse this. Like the best spell decks at the time were just very hold decks. But I'm thinking that there has to be some way to like use this as like a win the late game type card, right?
So short that was saying this card plus Lux goes kind of crazy, because what you can do is kamikaze it into a battlefield, it dies, you float all your runes, and then you untap all of them, and then you just have a million mana to play like progress days and unchecked powers and whatever the hell, trigger Lux, go off.
That's what I'm saying, is like I think in set 2 we have, like in blue specifically, we have there are a lot of new options that we can try out. Like the big one I'm thinking about is what's it called, the draw free. What is it, draw free?
Yeah, progress day.
No. Premonition. That's the card. The 3 power one.
Yes, the 3 power one. Oh boy.
Premonition to draw free. I'm just thinking of like there could be a cool like interaction. I thought it'd be cool to discuss with you like what could we combo with this, because I view it as like you slide him in, play him like early in the game when there's like an off turn, right, and then you just slide him in later to like do like some insane like I'm gonna win the game right now combo, right? Or like I'm gonna like wipe the board in some weird way. I don't know. Like,
it lets you get away with some very unusual extra turns. What's the card called? Time warp. It lets you get some weird time warps where your opponent wouldn't be expecting it. It's like you're on 8 runes, and then you just like have a bunch of shitter units sitting around. You kamikaze your echo, boom, untap all your stuff after floating, then you get cast time warp. Go into your next turn.
Yeah, you could just like you tap out your entire you play an entire board, and your opponent goes, "Yeah, what are you doing? What are we doing, boys?" You swing with Echo, and then you go time warp, and you're oh, time warp is just haste.
Exactly.
You just give your whole board haste, basically.
Yep.
I don't know. I feel like hold strategies are really hard outside purple, right? So I feel like this is like a cool way to like push like an aggro spell list. Again, I don't know like how viable that is. I think it could be good, because we have so many like I'm just thinking that like so many of the spells that are reactive could just be played on your turn, and you just treat it as like a tempo play, right, instead of a reactive play, like Frigid Touch or the spell Bellows Breath. Like you could just Frigid Touch Bellows Breath, wipe their board, and then like deploy more units on top of that, right?
Do you think this Echo card could be played in Kai'Sa? Cares about spells, cares about playing units for tempo, and then cares about time warp. Boom. It's kind of like a good package.
It is a good package. I think if you're a proactive Kai'Sa, I think that's a really good fit, right? With cards like Annie, Vex, and Targon's Peak and Sona, I think it's really it's showcased like the decks that usually win are the decks that have more mana, right? More mana on their turn and access to strong cards, right? So I feel like Echo is in a strong color, blue, right? He gives you access to more mana. It's the only thing that's holding me back is his awkward cost. But we've seen 5 drops that do nothing on their own do well, like Vex, for example.
Yeah.
my baby, my actual favorite card in the whole game.
So vindicated now that she's top tier.
I told you.
Yeah, I think waiting for Echo to die and then untap all your stuff is kind of counterintuitive, because if your Echo dies, that means you've lost the combat, and then untapping all your runes kind of doesn't help you because you've already lost the combat. So having a proactive Echo that is either baiting interaction or straight up just going to kill himself on a battlefield, I think that's the way to play it.
Yeah, because like if we're playing blue and we're not really a hold style deck anyway, we might as well just play a proactive strat. I think Echo can push it like further. Like there has to be some like what's it called? Some strong like interaction with it, like with all the spell interaction.
Going on the topic of cards that are kind of counterintuitive to use is actually a card that's not good. I'm talking about this card just because I want to talk about how terribly designed it was. and the card is obviously Fiora Peerless.
Oh no, Fiora! No, you're gonna murder her on the video.
I want to talk about this card because my deck is kind of forced to play it, and I've gone only to 1 slot of it because God, this card, I hate playing it. So it reads, for those of you unfamiliar, 3 energy, 1 orange power, 3 power. Says when I attack or defend alone, double my might. And that reads kind of cracked, right? That's such a low investment to just have a massive unit, right? And then you realize, oh, if I'm holding with this, or if I'm attacking with this, my opponent can just put 2 units there. And suddenly this is just a really overcosted 3 might unit. So many times when I've had this on a battlefield, I played it out on turn 2 or turn 1 going second. And my opponent is just like, oh, you have a big unit that's gonna like kill my unit in combat? Cool, I'll conquer this battlefield and then I'll straight away play another unit there, so now your Fiora doesn't do anything. my card is useless. And if that wasn't enough, if it wasn't enough the fact that this card's whole design is just hard counted by just reading and understanding the game, it costs you a freaking power. It costs you a power. Why does this cost you a power? It does nothing.
I think it's because like doubling stats is nuts, right? Just for free, right? Just like this potentially could be a 3 might, 6 might, but like.
And that's the only reason why it still has slot. Like in strategies that care about very few units, specifically Irelia, this card fucks. Like I keep it in the deck just so I don't get hosed by Irelia, because this card this plus a punch fist is just like Irelia can't beat that.
What are we doing, boys? Do you think that's like the counterplay? Like I know the opponent can counterplay this really well, but do you think that that's something that you can abuse? Because the fact that like you're kind of forcing your opponent to go to a different battlefield or to play more slowly with Fura just gives you tempo, no?
The only problem is that orange strategies are very on board. The only sneaky trick you have is punch fist. That's kind of it. And unfortunately, the timing for this card and punch fist is kind of weird, because the doubling the might trigger is at the beginning of defending, which is you can only play reactions then, and punch fist is an action, so you can't, like double its might then punch fist, or punch fist then double its might unless you're attacking. If you're defending, that doesn't really work. Yeah, and it would be good, for example, if your opponent is, oh, I'm just gonna hold this battlefield with 2 units so that your turn 1 Fiora doesn't really do anything. You would have to have like a stronger accelerate unit that can instantly go in and surprise them and kill both their units, which is not really realistic currently. I mean, alternatively, what you could do is just buff it in some way to, I don't know, either punch fist it and go down even more runes so you're like even more deramped, or just put like an equipment on it and then deramp yourself even more. I don't know. Either way, I just wanted to say that this card is designed poorly or designed for the future. I kind of brought this up on another time. Eventually they will, like this just design space that will be used, they will make a battlefield that says only 1 unit can move here at a time.
Yeah.
And in that case, this is a sick game 1 card.
Can you imagine that? You play against Fiora, they just play with Fiora, Peerless there, and you're just like, yeah, good luck.
And even then, it's not even that good. All they have to do is throw a removal spell at this. It's 3 might. Like, it dies to air.
It dies to gust. It's like, it gets everything.
If you can make a protect the queen strategy with that theoretical battlefield that comes out, this card will steep play. But, I don't like it. Bad design.
I don't like it either. I think like it could see some niche play in like other decks. I saw this in Master Yi once, where like I remember I was.
Oh, in Master Yi, I see the tech. Because the double trigger is at the same time as defense, so you can stack them to give it +2 and then double to 10.
Yeah, so it goes to 10. Yeah, I remember someone did that to me where I only had 1 unit. I swung, and he's like, "Okay, it's 10." I'm like, "What?" Yeah, it's 10 because I give it +2 and then I double it. I'm like, Oh, great. I really doubled it and gave it +2. And I was like, oh, great. Oh, sick. I just lose because I can't beat 10 might. Like, who beats 10 might?
In Yi. I sound good. Yeah. Sounds good in Yi.
I think
well, who beats 10 might? Fight or flight. Gust before it triggers. Any removal spell.
Yeah, but like...
Rebuke. I can keep going.
But but let's be real, though. Like, who doesn't lose?
Who beats those cards anyway? Yeah, exactly.
Nothing I think,
who beats those cards?
I think, Fiora, Master Yi is a good option. Another option I was thinking of just now was Set.
Oh yeah, buffing it, yeah. And then it dies to the interaction, and then it just brings it back.
Yeah, you give it like a buff, so it gets even bigger with the double effect, like just again amplifies buffs. And as well, like I think Set plays a lot of like protection type spells.
Oh, that's true.
So you could do a thing like, is his signal like one of his showstopper spells? That's not action speed, right? I'm trying to remember now because I'm thinking that like if there is like some like orange movement tech thing, is there like a way you can like give it double the power, then your opponent passes priority, and then you move a unit back in? Is there there must be something to do with that, right?
Oh, that could work.
Yeah,
I mean, purple right away.
Well, I think that went really well. We got a lot of cards off our plate.
You did a really good job bringing up a bunch of cards I didn't even consider ever.
Yeah, I think hopefully our audiences have the ability to now get some ideas on what to brew tonight.
I mean, we gave the answers. All you gotta do is come up with the rest of the question.
Yes. Brew! Brew the cards!
Go brew!
Brew the cards! You!
Bring them to your Nexus night!